In this tutorial, we will discuss data types in JavaScript. There are two types of data type in JavaScript: primitive type and object type. So, in this lecture, we will discuss primitive types. Keep in mind, JavaScript data, or you can say values, are at the primitive or object. Primitive data types are immutable. Immutable means you can't change the value of the variable after you initialize it. Let's take an example. In the previous lecture, we specified 24 value to the age variable. The number 24 will always be the number 24. You can't change it. The same way string also work. If you specify a string for a particular variable, then you can't change the string because it is immutable. If you specify 32 to the age variable, then you will get 32 on the console. The variable value is modifying. It is not. When you specify a new value to the variable, it will not modify the previous value. But instead of this, it will create a new variable. The same way work for the string type also. But what if you concatenate two strings using plus sign? Using plus sign, you can concatenate two strings. But keep in mind, as I said, string is also immutable. So the concatenation represents a new variable. When you concatenate two strings, it will create a new variable with the concatenated string, not the modified string. JavaScript recognizes four types of numerical literals: binary, decimal, octal, and hexadecimal. Using a decimal literal, you can specify number, decimal value with 10 exponential notation. Then you can specify hexadecimal, octal, and a special value which is infinity and negative infinity. We also have a special word, not a number, to specify this is not a number. But infinity and not a number is not a numerical literal. It isn't. But this value taken as a spaceholder. Let's move to the next topic, string. In the previous lecture, we learned how to declare a string literal. String is just a simple text data. We can specify string in the single or double quotes, or you can use both. We will not dive deep into string topic because it is beyond the video. So we will clear all the concept and all the small detailed information of string in the separate video. So I had just cleared the basic concept of string here. Now I will move to the next topic, which is Boolean. What is Boolean? Boolean is just a value type that have only two possible values, true or false. But be careful when you are using the Boolean type. If you intended to use a Boolean, then don't specify the Boolean type in the quotation mark. If you specify the Boolean value in the quotation, then the literal equals to the string literals. The best way to create a Boolean type is this. So we'll just say let do is equal to true and close this statement with semicolon. We'll create a one more variable, let more is equal to false. That's it. Your Boolean type is created. So now let's move to the next topic, symbols. In ECMAScript 6, we have a new type, symbol. Symbols is a new data type in ES6, which represent unique tokens. Once you create a symbol, it is unique and it will not match any other symbols. In the future lectures, we will take a brief look of symbols. But just for the basic, I just wanted to show you how to create a symbols. Symbols are created using symbols constructor. We will learn what is constructor functions and all that in the future lectures. So we'll just say const, which is constant value. So we'll just say constant blue is equal to symbol, and this is a constructor, so we'll specify parenthesis and just close the statement using semicolon at the end. Now we'll create one more constant using const white is equal to symbol, and in the parenthesis we specify a string. To create a string, we're gonna add double quote and we'll say color white, and then we close the statement using a semicolon. Now if you check both constant, then you will get false, because as I said, symbols are unique. Every symbol has a unique token, so if you print this statement you will get false. Now let's move to the next type, null and undefined. JavaScript has two special types, null and undefined. Null has only one possible value, which is null, and undefined has only one possible value, undefined. Both null and undefined represent something that doesn't exist. It means you haven't specified any value to the identifier. But most programmers use null type to check the value is exist or not. You can also use undefined, but giving undefined value to the variable is sometimes complicated, because if you specify a variable without explicitly specifying a value, it will have a value undefined by default. So let's take an example. Now we'll first create let my value and close this statement using semicolon. If you print this statement, you will get undefined because it is a default value. Then we'll just edit the statement and specify let my value is equal to null. If you print this statement, you will get null. Now just change this null to the numerical value. So I'll just say here 19.4. If you print this statement, you will get 19.4 on the console. And at the last, if you specify undefined, then you will get the same result, undefined, as default. That's it. I hope you understand the primitive types of JavaScript. In the next lecture, we will explore object type.